Okay, so nice to see you sent us a new set of essays. This one is about the Olympics. Let's see what you wrote here. Experts throughout both the developing and developed world have debated whether the Olympic Games have a significant role in modern society or not. This essay will discuss the issue and provide examples to demonstrate points and support arguments. Okay, lovely so far. I have one concern with this, however. You never actually answer the question. It says, to what extent do you agree or disagree? So you really need to place your position here in the introduction. And the reason for that is because if you look at the band descriptors, under band 7, it says presents a clear position throughout the response. And for your position to be clear throughout, the best way is to make sure that your position is clear from your introduction. Okay? Because without it in your introduction, in all likelihood, it won't be clear until you get to your conclusion. So it's an important habit to get into. State your opinion, or whatever the question is. State your answer to this command or question here in your introduction. Okay? So let's move on. There is ample evidence, without the and, that Olympic Games have played an important role in the building this is awkward, let's see, have played an important role in building relationships, so no the, and then an S here, between nations and keeping peace on the planet. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, these games provide excellent opportunities for leaders, S, of joint countries to meet each other. Secondly, for some countries, this is the only way to reduce global tensions. This is the only way to reduce global tensions, full stop, because it's obvious that you're talking about Olympic Games here. For example, recent with a C, not with an S, that's a different word. Olympic Games were used by the President of the United States and China to meet, double E, and decrease the tense situation between them. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that without games, this would have been impossible. Okay, I don't know if it necessarily would have been impossible. I think it's more accurate to say that the games helped facilitate this, okay? So let's talk about this paragraph a little bit. My one concern here is that you have this, when you have this twofold here, you say that they provide let me put it to you this way. So you have a main idea here, and then you have a second idea here. They are rather related, and then your example basically belongs to both of them. I would have preferred each main idea to have its own example. Okay? So that just makes it feel a little underdeveloped. Okay? Let's see. Yeah, I would have liked an additional reason why you think the games are still relevant today. All right, let's move on. Although there is a case for sport which is influencing on children and teenagers while they support a national team during games. Okay, this is a major problem with the grammar. It just grammatically, it's incorrect, and it also creates incoherence. So this is something that needs to be revised entirely. The way you phrased it here, it's almost as if we should have read about the influence on children and teenagers in the previous paragraph, but you didn't write anything about them. So this seems like it's just coming out of nowhere, actually. It would have made more sense to say something like, although there is a case for Olympic Games helping to improve relationships between countries, and then write what you're about to say. But again, this is grammatically wrong, so it's just creating incoherence, and I'm not really sure what you're trying to say here at all. Okay, this is largely because the youth becomes aware about different kinds of sport activities and decides to start some of them. This is, again, incorrect. For instance, recent research without the A by Harvard University, capital U, has shown an increase in the number of children enrolled in the sports club by 20%. I would have preferred has shown an increase of 20% in the number of children enrolled in sports clubs after Olympic Games. No. Thus, it's possible to state beyond doubt that Olympic Games have a tremendous impact on the young generation. Okay, this again in favor, fine. So to conclude from the examples and arguments given, I firmly disagree that Olympic Games are not important nowadays. It is obvious. It is obvious that, no, this is awkward. Let's fix that. Let's see. How can we fix this? So more like the necessity of the games. How about, no, let's fix it up one more time. It is obvious that the games are needed, or that the games are necessary as instruments of maintaining global peace and involving youth in sports activities. All right, so those are some of my suggestions on how I would fix this essay. Grammatically, there were problems throughout the essay. You can see pretty consistently that I had to correct some of your grammar. So that's one thing I really want you to pay close attention to when you're following essays, making sure that your grammar is accurate. Apart from that, like I said, there were a couple of areas that I felt you should have extended a little better. You should have increased some of your support for some of your ideas. That would have been important. And also remember to include the answer to the command or the question that you find in the task here in your introduction. Okay? So let's move on to your other essay. All right, so here it is. It's the one about shoe sales. Yeah, I saw that it said 3, but I don't know why. It's obviously just 2. Let's see what you wrote here. The bar chart shows you know what this means? A brown and black leather shoe sale. It's as if the stores are selling brown and black shoes at a lower price, and that's not what you mean at all. So let's fix that a little bit and say, instead, the bar chart shows brown and black leather shoe sales among European countries in 2018. According to the data, UK, Belgium, Hungary, and Italy have higher sales of black leather shoes, S, than brown leather shoes, again, S. Let's see. UK, black, yeah. Belgium, yes. Hungary, yes. And Italy, okay. Belgium sold 10 times more black leather shoes, S, than brown, careful, leather shoes, S. While UK, Hungary, and all right, you can't say that they increased sales. You're not talking about any increase here. This is just, this is what we would call a static bar chart because it doesn't show change over time. And since it doesn't show any change over time, you can't use these words that imply change or motion or action. So words like increase, decrease, decline, reduced, and so forth, they're inappropriate here. What you basically need here is the language of comparison. So this was higher than, this was lower than, this was more than, and so forth. Okay, that's what's needed here. So let's say, while UK, Hungary, and Italy had higher sales of black shoes, I don't know what this means, on approximately 10. I'm not really clear what that means. All right, moving on. France, Germany, Ireland, Holland, and Poland sold more brown leather shoes than black. Careful with your typing. Leather shoes again. S. Poland and France had, don't be careful, you have to make sure that your tenses are consistent here, had twice as many sales of brown leather shoes. Compared to whom? So this doesn't really make any sense to me. What's going on with Poland and France? Let's see. Okay. So what you mean is that Poland and France had twice as many sales of brown shoes as they did black shoes, whereas Germany, Ireland, and Holland, they didn't increase anything. Okay? Again, because you don't want to use this kind of language of increase. So you mean something different, and I'm not really sure what you mean. Okay. Poland and Germany had the highest number of shoes sold at 120. Don't forget these are thousands, so you have to include those zeros. And 130 all right, let me try that one more time. Sorry. Poland and Germany had the highest number of shoes sold at approximately 120,000, 130,000 brown leather shoes, respectively, while Hungary and Italy sold the highest number of black leather shoes, approximately 130 and 104. Okay. Overall, the highest number of brown leather shoes sold in Poland. No. Overall, the highest number of brown leather shoes were sold in Poland and the least in Belgium, while the highest number of black leather shoes were sold in Hungary and the least in France. All right, so clearly we've got a lot of problems with grammar. That's what's holding this answer back. Apart from that, I found that the organization of this needed a little work. There are a ton of different ways that you could organize this data. One way that I have found helpful is to spend a paragraph analyzing the black leather shoes and a separate paragraph analyzing the brown. One way that I find very helpful is to also refer to these numbers along the side. So when I did my little model of this, I started off by saying black leather shoes, that Hungary and Italy were the countries that sold between 100 and 150, and then I gave the specific numbers. Then and also Belgium, sorry. So I started there. Then I went to this next group, and I would say between 50 and 100,000 black shoes sold were X, Y, Z, etc., all these countries here. And then I would probably give the highest number here and the lowest number here. And then I would say only France sold less than 50,000 at this number. Okay? Then I would do something rather similar with the brown leather shoes. And if I could somehow make a comparison with the black leather shoes to kind of link those two together, that's probably how I would do it. Okay? But again, here, the 4 countries that were between 100 and 150. Then these here, and then just that one little guy there, Belgium, with almost no brown leather shoes sold. So that's one way to do it. I found it particularly helpful that way. I thought it made things very clear. All right, go ahead and correct these essays again. Be careful with your grammar, and let's see what you write in your next set of essays. We'll be looking forward to them. Good luck.